So in today class, we'll learn about main thread, and then we'll learn about thread naming and grouping, and then thread priority. And if we get time today, we'll learn about lifecycle. Otherwise, we'll have a separate class for thread lifecycle. Okay. Okay. So first, we all have to understand when we are writing a Java program, right? So when you write a Java program, so how is to write the Java program? So the basically till now, whatever you read, right? So let's assume I have to print 1 to 10, right? So how I will do that? So first I will create a class name, let example. Okay. Then we used to have a public static void main and then a string args. Curly started. Okay. Okay. And then we have to, let us assume I have to print 1 to 10. So for loop, any program, int I equal to 0, I is less than equal to 10, I plus plus system dot out dot println. I just print I here and I close the curly bracket. And then I will close the main method and then class, right? This is the program that used to write if you want to execute any piece of code, right? So whatever execution thing that if anything you want to execute, where you will write? You will write inside this block, right? And it will get executed, right? So basically what used to happen, right? When you execute the Java program, right? So when you run this class example, so what happened? So basically what happened? This class, right? So when you execute, so this class, we request the memory from operating system. Okay, so we request there is operating system, right? We request a memory to run this class, right? If requested memory, let us assume if you request a certain memory and that requested memory not available, then what will happen? Then JVM will not start and it will respond with the error, or it will display error like there is no memory or kind of thing. We cannot run your program, right? Okay. If the requested memory is available, then what JVM will do? This thing already we have learned, right? I'm just going through in the context of main method. Okay. So whenever you run a program, JVM request for a memory to the operating system. We need a memory to run this program. If memory is not available, JVM will throw some show some error and it will not run your program. If memory is available, right? So if requested memory is available, so let JVM requested a certain memory to operating system. Operating system said, okay, we'll give you the memory. Okay. So what JVM will do? The first step, let us just take an example of this class example. So JVM is trying to run this example class. So what it will request for a memory, right? So once JVM get the memory, so at the startup, right? The first thing JVM will do, JVM will create, okay, JVM will create two groups. Okay, what is groups? We'll discuss two group. Okay, the first one is system and main. It create other group also, but mostly we'll talk about this two. Okay, so when JVM started or when JVM get the memory space, it will first create a two group, system and main. Okay, it's also create other thread group that we'll not talk about because we have like our main concern is system and main. Okay, and then in second step, JVM create a thread like finalizer main. So first JVM will create a group, then it will create a thread. Which thread? The mostly finalizer and main, right? And then what it will do, because it's created a group, so it will add this main to main group and finalizer to system group. So group is nothing like how in our class we used to create a group, right? Let assume you are in a classroom and you may have 15 students in that class. What you did, you created three groups, and in each group you keep five student. In one group you can keep four, in another group is six, in another group you can have five. So there is no restriction. Okay. Similarly, when JVM run our program, right? When JVM start up to run our program, so it requests a memory to operating system. Once operating system allocate the memory, it will create a groups. First, it will create a group. Okay. The most famous groups are system and main, and then it will create a thread, finalizer and main, right? And then it will add those threads like finalizer and main to thread groups. Okay. Main will get added to main thread and finalizer will get added to system thread group. Okay. And after that, at the third step, JVM start main thread. Okay, main thread. Now we'll learn a main thread. So what is main thread? Maybe study you have missed, right? The classes. If you go through the video, you'll understand. Okay. So now also we'll understand. So once then JVM will start the main thread. Once JVM started the main thread, right? Now what is the task of main thread? Okay, now JVM started up, it's created a group, it's created a thread, and now JVM start the main thread. Why it start the main thread? To execute our program. So our program get executed by a thread, which name is main. Okay. Okay. So what main thread will do? So main thread will check. The first thing it will check whatever class name that is supposed to execute, right? So my class name is, what is my class name? Example. So it will check this class name is available or not, right? So right now you guys are running in IntelliJ. So you might be like there is no chance of doing a mistake, right? About the class name and all. But when you run like this Java, and then we supposed to pass a class name example. What is this class name? Okay, example. And what I did, I pass example X. So in that case, this is called main method checks whether the specified class file is available or not. Okay, if class file is not available, then it will throw error, right? If class file is available, let I pass the correct class file. If class file is available, then it will verify the class file format. Okay, verify class file format. How it will verify a thread? How a thread will verify your class file format? With the help of bytecode verifier. Help of bytecode verifier. Okay. So once why it will verify? If someone, let us say you generated, you compiled a class, right? A program, and then a class file got generated, and someone opened that class file and delete some data. So in that case, when bytecode verifier verify that, it will throw a exception. It will throw like format is invalid or something. If verifier return no, the class file is perfectly fine, the format of class file is perfectly fine, then what happens? Then the main thread will load that class. Then main thread will load the class and initialize. Initialize means once the class got loaded. You remember like JVM memory model where a class loader will load that class, but class loader is loading, which is correct. But who is asking class loader to load that class? The main thread. Okay. So main thread will be responsible for class loading and initializing using class loader. Okay. Now after that, what happened? So this is we are learning a main thread task. What exactly main thread used to do? Okay. Okay. So once the class is loaded, right? So everything is loaded, everything fine. Now it will go and check the standard main method is available or not. What is the standard main method? The public static void main, main, and the arguments and all, it will verify if it's fine. If there is no error in your main method, right? So what it will do? The first step, if verification, this is main method verification. Verification in the sense, it will check all the details is correct or not for a main method. If everything is fine, the first step, it will collect argument from where? From command line. So it will collect argument from command line. So it will collect the argument from command line and assign to you. Remember we used to write string args, right? In main method argument, yes. It will assign to this. Okay. And once it is assigned, it will create a single array object, right? This is single array object, right? One dimensional, which is called 1D also, right? ARGS. Okay. And once it's created, it will store whatever data that you pass in command line into string array, right? And once this array is ready, it's fine with data and without data. If data you pass with data, if not pass without data, it will invoke main method. And you know that once you invoke the main method, what will happen? Whatever code is there, that will get executed, right? And once the execution is done, right? If main method got executed, the main thread will be destroyed. So once main method execution completed, right? Then main thread destroyed. Okay. So now we'll come from top again. Okay. So in this topic, we have to understand a main thread. If we know main thread, then we know why we need a other threads, right? Why user defined threads we need. Okay. So that is the reason. First, we'll understand the main thread properly. Okay. So what happened when you execute a Java program by using a class name? So what happened? It will request some memory from operating system with the help of JVM. If requested memory got allocated, right? If requested memory got allocated, what JVM will do? JVM will start up, right? And it will create a thread groups, mostly main and system. And it also create two threads. There are other thread as well, but I will talk about two threads. So threads like finalizer and main, right? And what it will do, it will add a main thread to main group, finalizer to system group, right? And then JVM, and after once it's added a thread to a respective group, it will start the main thread. Once main thread is started, right? Once the main thread is started, it will first verify your class format is correct or not, right? If class, with the help of whom it's verifying, code verifier, byte code verifier. If verification is fine, it will load your class with the help of class loader. It will initialize your class, and class will segregate it into different memory space, like class area, method area, heap area, etc., etc. And then it will collect the argument from command line, and then it will create a string array with data or without data, and then it will invoke our main method. Once it is invoked the main method execution is done, again the thread will destroyed. So what happened? What is the main thread life cycle? Simple right now. It got created, right? It did his service, and destroyed. So you can say that run, and then destroy, right? So till now you see main got created by JVM, added to the group, and executed main and all, and then it got destroyed, right? So main thread flow is clear. We'll see some example. Okay. So let me open IntelliJ. After the example, I'm just opening my IntelliJ. We'll learn thread name and thread group, how to give our name and how to add in our group, and then we'll learn about priority. Okay. Okay. So you guys are able to see my screen, right?
Yes.
Your notepad is
Not notepad. Not notepad.
no,
Yes.
no,
Now,
IntelliJ is no. We
Oh,
cannot
now
see.
it's fine. Now it's working, right?
Yes, yes.
now able to see.
Okay. So let me create a class to learn about main thread flow. Okay. First, whatever I'm saying, right, which is correct or not, first we have to validate that, right? So what I said, a default thread got created by JVM, which used to run our code. Okay. So what I want to do that here, I want to know which thread is running my this piece of code. Let assume just I am printing system.out.println. I am printing hello world. So who is running this? Who is printing this? Who is helping us to execute this piece of code? So what I will do, there is a method called current thread. So what it will do, it will capture the current thread from the flow. So we'll also do that. So we'll first create an object of this thread th equal to. So inside the thread class, there is a method called current thread. So I capture the current thread in line number 6. Okay. And then what I will do, I will just try to print it, right? So th dot get name. Okay. Now I said the main, what name it's supposed to print? As per our discussion, it's supposed to print main, right?
Main.
And main got added to which group? Main got added to whatever it is based on that. So main got added to main group. Okay. Here. So main got added to main group. So we'll see these two things first and then we'll discuss. Okay. So let me first run this and then we'll see another. Okay. So now you see it's first print main and second it's print a object. So because why object? Because I'm just doing ts.get thread group. What I want to do, I have to print that name of that group, right? So what is the group name? Main. What is the thread name? Main. What is the group name?
Main.
Main. So as per our discussion, we are correct. A thread which is executing or which is printing, which is helping us to execute this program, name is current thread. Okay.
I have a doubt. So here the name is given by the JVM.
Yes, the
For
name
the main
is
thread.
by the JVM. Okay. And you can also set the name. Okay. So now you see, because you updated the name, right?
Okay.
So it's you can update also. You can update the name. So what I did, the main thread I capture and then I change his name. Okay. And then I'm printing it. So it's printing Ram. Okay. But this is not suggestible. You should not update the main thread name, because maybe you will get confused. If you are creating your own thread, you are giving a name and all, that is fine. Okay.
So if you are creating our own thread, and if you don't give the name will be assigned by the JVM, right?
Yes, it's
The
like
default name.
yes, it's like thread 0, thread 1, thread 2. Okay. That
Okay.
already we have like one video. Today we are discussing how to change the name, how to create a group and add those whatever we have, right? Threads, right? Into the group. So this is
Okay.
clear to you all, whatever flow that I explained, which is got clear. So our first
Yes.
agenda, which is main thread, will be done. Okay. So main thread, now if someone asks you what is main thread, so you guys can explain, right? So who created main thread? JVM create main thread. In which group it's got added? It's main group, it will get added. What is the responsibility of main thread? So main thread will check the class is available or not when you execute. If it's available, it will load the class. Sorry, it will verify the class with the help of bytecode verifier. If it's verified, everything is fine. It will load the class into the memory or into the JVM with the help of class loader. Once it's got loaded, it will verify the main method. Okay. Once main method verification is done, it will take the arguments, take the data from command line, create a string array, and it will invoke the main method. Once main method got invoked, it will help to execute the main method. Once main method execution is done, the main thread will get destroyed. Okay, I have repeated 3 times the same video. So if you guys go through, you will understand better. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So now main thread is clear. So yesterday already we have discussed in previous video about how to create what we call this threads, right? How many ways? There are other ways also. Okay. But we have to mostly focus on these 4 ways that we have discussed. Okay. So now our second agenda was thread name and thread grouping, right? So this main is clear. So what I will do, I will go with another class where we learn thread. We'll just create a thread and add to group name, thread name and group. Okay. My screen is visible to you all, right?
Yes, we.
Okay. Okay. So first of all, how we can create a thread, Poonam? Just a basic, like maybe I want to create a thread. So how I can create a thread? So let us assume my thread. Okay. I have a class called my thread. First you have to take a class. And then what I supposed to do?
Extend
Then
extend thread class. Then override. Then what we have to pass, then we will pass that things.
What we supposed to pass?
Yeah. Then we will print.
Okay. We'll see. Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll go with the simplest way today. Okay. So first of all, what I will do, this is the pretty easiest way to do that. Extend the thread class. How exception we are doing? If you have to create exception, you just extend the exception class. Once you extend it, right? What do you have to do? You have to override. You have to provide the implementation for run method. Okay. Inside run, I am writing here. So this thread, this my thread, right? What I will do, I will here write something like system.out println. I will write something about India. India is my country. Okay. 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 So now, I have created third class. Okay. Now, what I will do, I will just go here. I will create the thread 1 equal to new thread. Okay. And then th1, there is a method called start. Okay. Okay. So now when you execute a program here, when you execute a program, first main thread will get created. Then with the help of main thread, we'll execute this line. Another thread will get created, and then another thread will get started, and then main thread will die. And then ts.1 start will execute. Okay. So basically what happened, main thread will trigger this t1.start, and then it will do his task. Now t1 thread, th1 thread will do his own task. Okay, that we'll see here. First we'll see the name and all, then we'll talk about flow. So it's printing India is my country, right? Okay. So now in this one, right, I will type here. 1 second. System.out.println thread class dot current thread dot get, sorry, current thread dot get name. Okay. So and now I will also print the group. So thread dot current thread dot get thread group. I will get the thread group object, then I will have to print the name. So same piece of code I will write in main method also. Okay. So see, I have written, just I will add here one thing, post. It will help you guys to understand the flow. And let me run this. Okay. So what is happening here? So main thread triggered this thread 0, right? This thread 0, right? And thread 0 is added to which group? Thread 0 will get added to main. 1 second, let me add this here. What is the group name? Group main. Okay, you should not go with the order, okay? Because it's a multi-threading program and we are having a single console, right? And both are executing at the same time. So you may see this is up. See here, India is my country is printing. If you next time if you run again, okay, the order might change. Now is postman is down, right? And again, if I run India is my country. So this order you should not follow, okay, printing order. So what will happen? Here I will explain. So here post, okay, and then there will be a space. There will be a space, and then come to user define. Okay. So see here, user defined thread name is 0, user defined group name is 0, because we have not created a group. A JVM created a group and then assign a name to our thread, which is thread 0, and group also JVM created, which name is main, and it's added our thread into 0 group. So right now I'm in my main, I'm just printing my country name. I can do anything. Okay, so let us assume I just want to do int I equal to 0, I is less than 10, and I plus plus. and then I will have system.out.println. I will have I. Okay, because I am writing in first line, I have no need to give curly braces start and curly braces end, right? So because I am after for loop, just one line will get executed. See, so it will do our work. Okay, the basic idea behind, okay, why we are discussing this thing, to understand how the threads and all work. So now what I will do, I have created this thread, I have started. Okay, before start, I will just give a thread name, set name, and I have given here American, or I will give Peter. Okay, why I given Peter, will come to know that. So what is the thread name here? User defined thread name is Peter, right? Sorry, user defined thread name is Peter. Okay, but what about group? How to create a group? How to add this thing in the group, right? Okay, so to create a group, let us say I want to create a two group. Okay, the first is thread. You see here thread group. So I have given this thread group name Indian, a group name Indian, new thread group. Okay, so when you create a thread group, you have to pass the thread name. So I want to give here Indian. So I have created one group called Indian. Let me create another group called American. Okay, American, right? Now, so what happened when you create the thread, right? Second, so actually thread group and string name. Okay, and then here we have to do super T and name. Okay, so basically why it was not working, so it's our own thread, right? So what I'm doing, I have created one constructor. In that constructor, it will take a thread group and thread name, and there is a constructor in thread class which will accept thread group and thread name, right? So basically we're extending thread class, so I'm passing this thread group and thread name to thread constructor. Okay, and that is the reason. So here when I was just in the thought of this is thread class, but this is our own class, right? So what I will do, I will pass here Indian. So we are supposed to create a group, and we're supposed to create a thread, and we add thread to a certain groups, right? So I have created two groups. One is Indian, another one is American, right? So how we can create a group? There is a class called thread group. You just give any name, no need to give Indian here. Whatever name you pass in the constructor, right? That name will assign to this object. Okay, but to make it sense or make it logical, you can say, and we can easily remember, okay, if I'm passing this Indian means I am given this Indian name, right, as argument in a constructor, right? So here if you see here I'm passing Indian, so for me it's very easy to identify which object holds what name, right? That is the reason I'm giving Indian and American. I can give here A, and here also I can give B. The only thing I have to pass here A and B, right? Which is very difficult to remember, and that is the reason I've given Indian and American. Okay, it's not like if you give an object name Indian, the name will be Indian. Whatever you pass here, that will get assigned to a group name. Okay, so now first I created a group, and then I have created one constructor in my custom class, which take two arguments, thread group and thread name, and then I'm passing that thread group and thread name to super class, which is thread, right? Clear to all, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So now after that, once I created a group, what I did, I create a thread. So first I created thread 1, thread 2, thread 3, and I given different Ram, Mohan, Karthik, and I given a same group. I added all Ram, Mohan, Karthik in the same group. Okay. Now let me do one more thing. Okay. So I will here in the place of 3, I will have 4, 5, 6. Total how many thread I have created? Total I have created 6 thread, right? Okay. So here I will give name Peter, John, Mark, and add them to this American group. Okay. American group, right? And then what I will do? I will just start. Okay. So I created a group, then I created a thread. Okay. You can, okay. I created a thread and then I start all this thread. So T1, T2, T3. Let me start here T4. Start here T5. Let me start here T6. Okay. Okay. And let me run the program. We'll see here. Let me comment this out, this for loop. Right now, it's okay. Whatever. Okay, sorry. Okay. So now, if you see here, when I'm printing, so main, then user define John, Karthik, Peter, whatever user define I have created. Then if you see here Mohan, what is the group of this? Indian, Mohan, Indian, Ram, Indian, American, Mark, right? This is for Mark. Then Peter. So this output, right? Output will be get printed here and there. Okay. So basically what I will do, I will combine this into one line. The order of output, right? In a program like multi-threading and all, mainly in console, right? It's not how you see in the code. It's not like that. So it's like whatever current thread at the same time, 3 threads can get executed, and it may lead to prints half of the thing from one thread and half of the thing from another thread. Okay. So now what I did, I just printed current name and then group. So what happened? It will always execute at the same time. Let's see. John is American, Mohan is Indian, Ram is Indian, Peter is American, Mark is American, Karthik is Indian. Right? So basic agenda of today class is to understand main class, to understand how to create a thread group, how to set the name to the thread. So there are two ways. One, you can set the name by using setter method. Okay, like th1 dot set name. You can change the name, you can update the name. Okay. Okay. Now second method is by constructor. Okay. So this I did with the first example that I have teach you guys in my second video. With by extending thread class, you can create the thread. In that context, we have learned how to add the thread into the group and how to change the name. This is clear to you all? Any doubt? No doubt?
So while creating the sorry, while creating the thread in the thread class, like the custom thread class in the um, constructor, we need to pass the thread group and the thread name, right?
Yeah. Because when I was passing here, I was in the.
Okay.
So you remember, because it will not accept, because I was thinking I am just passing this thing into thread class. In my thread class, which is a custom
Okay.
class, there is no constructor, right? So it won't take this group and this name, right?
Okay. Yeah.
You have to introduce a thread. So this is the one way when you are extending. What about when we create with the help of runnable, right?
Yeah.
You understand? Okay, one more thing. So let me, okay, now interviewer will ask you, okay, what interview will ask you, what is the use of group? Why there is a need to create a group and add to a specific group? Okay, because is there any logical, any sense? So if you want to apply certain instruction, right? You just let assume there is a group of people and you want to say that whoever height is more than 6 feet, please go out from this class. Whoever mark is less than that, please. So what you do, you logically creating a group to apply certain instructions, right? So similarly in Java also we have a group. In threading we have a group to apply certain actions, or we want, if let assume if we want to change a state of a thread which belong to XYZ group, so we can directly apply that logic on the group. So it will get, so all the member of that group will get impacted. So that is the only use of thread group here. Okay, and thread name to identify my thread to perform certain tasks, that all we learn for the classes. But right now, how to create a thread group and how to assign a thread to a specific group is clear to you all by in this case when you are extending thread class, right? Okay, now we'll see with runnable. You guys are able to understand, right? There is no issue, right?
Yeah, and I have a doubt. Like, see, we can create a group and we can have many threads under the same group, right?
Yes, as many you want,
Okay.
as many your system support, right?
Okay.
So I've created my thread here because already having same package. I will create my thread R runnable because I'm going with a runnable. So first, what I will do, I will implement runnable. Okay. So when you implement runnable, there is a method called run, which you have to override. Okay. And let me not write this code, this piece of code. Let me go here and add this. So basically what it will do, it will take a current thread name and all. So what we are learning, we'll create a two group first. Thread group.
Yeah, sorry for the interruption. I have one note. So, while extending the thread class, also we are overriding the run method, and while implementing this runnable interface, also we are overriding this run method, right?
Yes.
So it's like since the thread is already implements the runnable interface, that's the reason we are
Yes.
overriding this run
Yes.
method. Okay.
So when you are going directly with runnable, right? When I'm going directly with runnable, it's forcing us to override. But when you are go with thread, it will not force you to override, right?
Okay.
Because already thread class have certain implementation. But with that implementation, you cannot go, right?
Okay. Okay.
Because why you extend that class? Basically you extending thread to do something in threading, right? So you have to override this run method and write your code inside the run, right? And if you not write, it will point out to the default one, and you may get, okay. Let me do one thing. We will We'll understand this. This is thread class, right? Let me comment this out. So when I comment, there is no compile time check, right? No compile time error. Okay. When you run it, we'll note the what I will get in out. So what it's saying, sorry. Let me comment this. See, main postman, right? It's just like a normal. It's just going to your default what we call run method, and it's finding nothing, right? So it's not executing anything for you, right? There is no use of that. Clear?
Got it. Okay.
Now you come to now we'll see runnable. Runnable is the other one more way to create a thread. So I implemented runnable. Now you learn if I implement runnable. So how I can create a thread? What do we call this? We can create a thread and then we can give a name and then we can assign to a group. So first step to create a group, thread group. Let us assume here I have math group. New. So any logical name you give based on your program, okay? And I pass it here math. And then I will create. I will create here physics. What I will pass here? Physics. Clear? Okay. Now, when you are implementing runnable, right? So when you implement runnable and you want to create a what do we call thread. So first you have to create a thread object. So T1 equal to new thread. Okay. The first thing, what you will pass? You will pass your group name. So what is the group name? Math. Okay. Now the second thing, what you will pass? You will pass runnable object. So where is runnable object? There is no runnable object, right? Let me create this. My thread. This my thread is our class, right? I will get obj equal to new my thread, a simple. And then I will pass here obj. And then once I will pass obj, I will pass the thread name. So thread name will be sorry, this is not my thread, this is a thread class. Okay, it's taking reference from there. Okay, so I will pass here for math, let us assume I will pass my name. Okay, and then I will create another thread T2. Okay, and I will create object 2 and I will pass here Onita. Okay, so what I did here, you guys understand? First I created a thread group, then I created my class runnable class object, then I create thread with the class help of thread 1. In both the cases you will create a thread class object. Okay, the only thing is that if you go in runnable way, you have to pass here your object. There is no need of constructor here. Okay, and when you execute, let me execute. I did for whatever. Sorry. Okay. So I created a thread. To run that thread, we have a method called start. I will start. Sorry. Start. Then we have T2 dot start. And when I run, Punita in math, Avinav, okay, math, I given math or physics. Because I passed math, that is the reason both thread will get added to math, PHY. Clear to you all, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So my basic funda is you guys must know how to create a thread group and how to add thread into the group. Okay, this is clear, right? Okay, so if someone is not completed the second video, they might find difficult. So there are other ways to create a thread. With that also I can give an example. But the thing is that you guys have to first complete that one, right? Otherwise you will not understand. So better we'll go with this two approach. Okay. Okay. Let me have one more class here. And this is thread RT. And what I will do, I will just go up. I will create an object of, sorry. I will just create an object of, just two object of. I created one more class. Okay. RT. So RT. Okay. And then RT. And you have X. And here you have Y. And here you have RT. And here you have RT. Clear? So I have created another class which implement runnable. Okay. And then what I will do, in thread this math, I will pass this X here, I'll pass this Y here, and then I have 5 and 6, right? And then what I will do, T5 dot start, T6 dot start. Okay. See here, we know math, physics, and all, right? Okay. T1 dot start, what is there? What name I have given? I have given same name, Avino, and physics. I think we have passed physics and okay, twice Avino. So T5 I have given Rex and Rex. And let me run this one. So Rex will go to math, Rex physics, right? Rex to math. Clear? So like that, okay. So now I have two classes. My thread are, let assume a interviewer will ask you, can you write a program where you can run a two thread? One thread will print a prime number, another will print Armstrong number, or another will print this odd number or even number series. So that type of program you can write with the help of this code. Okay. Okay. So now that program and all is not today's agenda. Today's agenda is to create a thread group, set the name, change the name, add to a group, start the thread, which is clear to you all, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that is clear.
Okay. So now we'll learn one more topic today, which is called thread priority. Okay. So in Java, we are having a thread priority. Okay. So thread priority is like how priority works. You guys may know that. So let's assume if somewhere some event is happening, right? So in event, if you go, people are having priority, right? Some are VIP, some are normal, some are not allowed, kind of thing. So if a person who is a VIP, he will have access, he will get the priority access, right? For everything. Okay, let's forget about that event. Just take example of airport, right? So in airport, you might heard about priority check-ins, right? Correct? So what happened? Like if you buy that priority check-in, when you reach the airport, you will get a separate passway for security check for everything, right? You will get us in certain airport or in certain flight carriers will provide you launch access and all, right? With priority. So, but there are certain flight carriers who doesn't bother about priority or VIP or you are not. You have to be in the same queue. There is no option of opting a this priority queue and all, right? So similar way priority works here in Java also. So Java allow you to set the priority of thread. Let's assume there are 3 threads and they are running, right? And they start running. Just assume they start running and they want a processor to execute a piece of code respective to the thread. So now how scheduler will decide, right? Which thread, let all 3 will reach at the same time. So as per the thread priority, the thread who is having a higher priority, okay, in Java higher priority means an integer value 10, medium normal priority means 5, and minimum priority means 1. So if a thread is having minimum priority, then it will not get the first access. The thread with higher priority will get the access first, right? You are understanding what I'm trying to say, right? So basically,
Yes.
we can assign a priority to each thread, and based on that priority, the processor or the execution unit will get allocated to the thread. The person with the higher priority or thread with the higher priority will get first chance. Understand?
Yes, I understood that.
Yeah. Okay. So let me do one thing. We have created thread, right? So we are printing name. First, before setting the priority, first print the priority, right? So thread dot parent thread dot get. You see, there is a method called get priority, right? Okay, let me print for one class only because it will do the same. So default it's printing 5, right? 5 is a normal priority. Okay. So what I will do, I want to change the priority. Okay. So what is where it is for which we did? Okay, my thread R we did, right? We are printing my thread R. So my thread R. So T1 is this is thread, right? T1. So T1 dot set priority. So you want to set priority. So you will pass here 10. Okay. And when you execute, you will see it's having a priority 10. Okay. But this this priority basically means is you can set the priority so that you will get the privilege than others, like privilege upon others. So let us assume if someone is having 5 priority, right? Uh, and this is having 10. 10 means highest. What is the lowest? The lowest is 1. So in between 1 to 10 you have to give. Okay. If you give beyond 10, you will get a exception. Okay, so let me give 11 here. We'll see. As per I remember, we'll get exception, illegal argument or something. Okay. Illegal argument. Okay. Okay. So inside the thread class, if you go inside a thread class, you might or definitely have. So we'll see like command if max underscore. You see this max priority? Okay. So let me go there. What is the max priority? 10.
10.
What is the normal priority? 5. What is the minimum priority? 1.
1.
Yeah. So you can directly access with the thread.class name as well. Okay. So we are here with runnable, right? And where I pass thread. So let me access this because this is public in nature, so we can access, right? Dot. So I said max priority. So max is 10, right? So based on that, we'll set the priority. So basically, priority is an integer number, and by default, JVM will give to each thread, it will set a normal priority. You can change the priority by using a set priority method, and there are three properties already we have in thread class: max, mean, and normal, which already I have shown you, right? You should give a priority in range of 1 to 10. If it's go beyond, you will get exception. Let's assume you are having a class. Okay, so if simple funda, if a parent thread is having a higher priority, the child thread will also have the same priority than parent thread. Okay. Okay. If you want to access the priority, we'll use get priority. Okay. If you want to set, then set priority. So this thing is clear. Okay. Now, is it guaranteed if I set a higher priority that thread will get executed first? Interviewer will ask you. You will say it's totally depend upon operating system. If you are using Mac OS, right, there is no use because Mac OS doesn't work on thread priority. What you set with the help of what we call what you said with the help of JVM, right? It will not work. Okay. If anywhere, any operating system which use priority scheduling, okay, maybe in operating system heard, in that operating system, this thread priority will work fine. Clear? Ponita, Kritika?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So basically it's things to learn, but in my Mac, if I set 10 or 5, there is no use because my in my Mac, my operating system, not in my Mac, anywhere, any Mac OS, right? There is no priority scheduling. Okay. Clear?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So when we learn about multi-threading, right, we always have
Yes.
to keep in mind, we have to understand processors, right? So right now it's very basic.